Let me take you back to that moment. It's late. The lights are low. We've both had just enough to drink that the walls are down, and the truth starts to slip through in the silence between words. You lean in, eyes searching for something. That's been bothering you for a while now.
Oh, bro.
You say, why does she pull away when I finally show her I care? I get it. This isn't about pickup lines. This isn't about sex. You've already done that. What you're really asking is why connection, the deep, real kind, slips away the moment you start being genuine. Why does vulnerability seem to push her away instead of pulling her closer? We weren't taught this growing up. No one sat us down and said, hey, here's how you let a woman feel you. It's not just see your achievements or your lifestyle, but feel your presence, your frequency. That's what this is really about. You've been told to impress her. You've been trained to lead with your resume. You've been programmed to showcase your worth by flashing what you've done or what you own. But it's not what she's looking for. She's not falling for your bullet points. She's falling for the moment you stop performing and start simply being. She's falling for that pause before you speak, the unshakable calm in your eyes, the weight of your presence when you're not trying to control the outcome. You don't have to come with fireworks. You have to come with truth. When you stop trying to be enough and start trusting that you already are, that's when she begins. To feel something real, it's not about the flash, it's about the frequency. And when your energy aligns with something deeper, something real, she doesn't just notice, she feels it. That's the beginning of something different, something lasting. Asterisk most guys think that to build connection, they need to be constantly present in her inbox. The texts never stop. Good morning, just checking in, hope your day's going well. It's like they believe if they can keep reminding her they exist, she eventually form a bond. But connection doesn't grow through repetition. It grows through depth. It's not about how many times you reach out. It's about what you bring when you show up. That's the part no one tells you. Real presence doesn't scream, doesn't beg for attention. It's quiet, solid. It's felt in the space between words. Think of the most powerful moment you've ever had with someone. It probably wasn't during a long speech or constant messaging. It was a look, a breath, a pause. Maybe it was sitting next to her on the couch, not even talking, just being. She glances at you, and for a second, you're not just in the same room, you're in the same feeling. Time slows down. There's no goal, no tension, no performance. And in that stillness, something real takes root. It's not forced, it's not planned, it's presence. That's what she remembers. Not the texts. It's not the perfectly crafted lines. But the energy of a moment where you weren't chasing, weren't pleasing. You were just there. That kind of presence can't be faked. It's the product of a man who's not desperate for validation. A man who's not constantly performing to earn connection. When you stop trying to fill every space with words and instead allow your energy to do the talking, she feels it. In her chest, in her gut. And long after the moment ends, long after the messages fade, it's that feeling that lingers. The kind of connection that stays. Not because you forced it, because you lived it. Asterisk. She's watching more than you think. Not in the way you imagine, not your job title, your car, or the way others respond to you. She's watching the way you hold yourself when no one's clapping. The way you speak to yourself when things go quiet. Because that's where your real value lives. Not in the surface, but in your self-respect. And here's the truth. She doesn't rise to meet your image. She reflects your standard. If you shrink to make her comfortable, she'll feel it. If you start doubting yourself to gain her approval, she'll start doubting you too. But when you stay rooted, calm, certain, unapologetic about your worth, something shifts in the dynamic. She doesn't pull away. She draws nearer, not because you demanded it, but because she senses that you're not moved by her validation. You're led by something deeper. Women are intuitive. They can sense when a man is grounded and when he's performing. And while you might think being agreeable or overly accommodating keeps her around, it actually chips away at attraction. You're not meant to bend for her comfort. You're meant to stand in your integrity. That means knowing your boundaries without making them a threat. That means being able to say no without guilt, to walk away if needed, not as punishment. but as a declaration of self-worth. When a man operates from that place where his center is built from experience, not ego, he becomes magnetic. Not loud, not dominant, just unshakable. That's what she feels. That's what makes her relax around you. Not your power, but your peace. The quiet, unwavering presence of someone who doesn't chase approval because he's already enough. That kind of energy doesn't just attract, it commands respect. And respect is the foundation for everything real. Asterisk, something changes the moment you start catching real feelings. You notice it to begin to hesitate more. Question yourself. Soften your edges just a bit too much. Suddenly you're watching your every move. You're careful with your words, smiling when you're unsure, nodding along, instead of speaking your truth. You stop showing up as the man you were when she first met you, the one who had fire, who spoke with conviction, who wasn't trying to impress but was just being. That shift, she feels it. And not in a good way. Because the man she was drawn to starts fading, and in his place, someone safer but less alive begins to take over. You might think you're doing the right thing. You believe if you're sweet enough, agreeable enough, perfect enough, she'll stay. But that's where the fear creeps in, the fear of messing up, of saying the wrong thing, of pushing her away by being too real. Ironically, it's that fear that drives the disconnection. Because real intimacy isn't created through perfection, it's born from presence. From letting her see the full picture, not just the ambition and the charm, but the vulnerability. It's a part of you that's human, that gets scared, that's been hurt, that's still healing but stands tall anyway. She doesn't need a flawless man. She needs a real one. Someone who can disagree without being defensive. Someone who can be strong without being rigid. Someone who can let her in without losing himself. When you stop editing yourself, when you stop performing for her approval, that's when she begins to trust you on a deeper level. Because now, she's not connecting to a version of you, she's connecting to you. And in that rawness, that unfiltered honesty, something powerful happens. You stop being liked. You start being remembered. Asterisk, too many men spend their energy trying to manage how they're seen, carefully curating every move to shape her perception. You act like you don't care when you do. You hold back affection to seem cool. You avoid speaking your truth because you're afraid of coming off too eager, too emotional, too intense. It's all a silent performance. And while it might work for a while on the surface, there's always something underneath that feels off to her. Because here's what most men don't realize. Women are wired to feel emotional truth. Even when the words sound right, if the energy's wrong, she'll feel the gap. You think you're protecting yourself by keeping her guessing? By hiding your depth behind mystery or control. But in reality, you're making it harder for her to connect. Because she's not trying to fall in love with your image. She's trying to feel something real. And when what she senses doesn't match what she hears, she starts to pull away. Not because you're too much, but because you're not letting her in. It's like trying to hug someone through a glass wall. But when you drop the act, when you say what you mean, feel without filtering, show up without the script, that's when everything changes. She may not agree with everything you say. She might not always like it, but she'll respect it. She'll trust it, because now she's not dealing with a role. She's seeing a man. One who isn't afraid of how she sees him, because he's not dependent on her validation to feel worthy. That kind of man doesn't just attract attention, he creates gravity. And even if she walks away, she'll remember him. Because in a world full of masks, realness stands out. Realness stays.